Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Apply the appropriate greeting. Welcome to another episode of the Rising Lights podcast. So for anybody who missed my tweet yesterday, I did tweet out that me and Kit were playing the Back for Blood beta, with Fiend and our friend Infested Iron. And yeah, so because we was like part way through playing that when it came time to do the podcast, and we were like two levels from finishing the story that they've given us for this beta. At about 10:30, I just turned around and said to Kit, "You know what? We'll push it back till tomorrow because this is one of our talking points anyway." Which obviously Kit agreed. So here we are.
That we are. Hello, everybody. I've jumped in before being told to say hello, but hello.
All good. So as per usual, the music we came into today was not a Camtasia advert. It was Reach by Part of the Plan. As you can see the guys here on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube or live on Twitch. We always like to use Part of the Plan's music, not only because Rafe, who's the lead singer, right here, or Cody, is a good friend of both me and Kit, but hey, thanks Rob for the sub for 4 months. Holy shit. But yeah, so where was I? Oh, not only because he's a good friend of both of us, but so obviously it promotes his band and his music, but also because a lot of this stuff is quite varied, but it's still within the rock genre. A bunch of the songs that I pick have some sort of meaning in relation to either like how I'm feeling myself at that given day, or related to the podcast or one of the topics, something like that. So obviously we had Reach, and my thought process behind that one was that we're going to talk later about changes being made to Destiny, the fact that Back 4 Blood has got its open beta soon, and obviously now you've got a beta that's early access. You get drops and stuff. So it's basically the company's making a reach, is the way I was looking at it, for some sort of change. Obviously the beta, they're trying to make sure everything's working correctly and all that before full release, and Destiny just wants to change things up. So that was, yeah, a little bit of an insight there as to why I picked that song for today. But yeah, and 500 bits as well, Rob. Thank you very much. Love you too, dude. You're awesome. But yeah, let me put the commands in chat real quick. It's POTP, and then, well, actually, it should have been the other way around. Exclamation point Cody. I should have put Cody up, and now I've put 2 exclamation points for that one. Let me change that.
Well, if it's not the category or the stream title, there's your little snapper for the day.
Yeah, exactly.
You got it out the way nice and early.
So, hey Otis. So yeah, as I was saying, Cody is his real name. He uses like a separate Twitter for himself and like his singer profile, if you will, and then he's got his stream / gaming based one, which is RafeBoundCA. He's an awesome fucking dude, and sometimes he streams because of time zones and stuff. He's on Eastern time zone, and sometimes he doesn't like finish work and get home until like 7-8 o'clock his time, which is like 12 to 1 o'clock here. So I don't always manage to catch streams, and it always, like, whenever I see on my phone a notification, RafeBoundCA went live, I'm like, damn it. I really wish I could have caught that stream. Do you know what I mean? Because I some of the, during the pandemic and stuff, obviously was able to go live a lot earlier because he wasn't working so much, or he was working from home. So I could be in his streams a few times, and yeah, awesome dude. Definitely recommend you go and check him out. He was on episode 4 of this podcast as well. If you want to go and check out that on my YouTube channel or the various Spotify, Podbean. Well, Podbean you said missing a bunch, but that one will be on there. And all the others, I forget the list. I'm not going to try and read them off, Kit. But
Do you want me to, or are we just going to leave? We've got a load of platforms.
Yeah, there's a load of platforms you can check the podcast out on, and like I said, he was on episode 4, which is where the clip from the exclamation point POTP command comes from, where we basically had him on. We was talking about DMCA and Twitch and all that kind of thing, and asked his band's point of view, his perspective on the whole DMCA thing, whether people are allowed to use their music, which he said, hell yeah, have at it. We love seeing what people come up with using our music, whether it's, you know, just background music for streams, or like you're editing a video, or some sort of like cool montage. They enjoy seeing what people come up with. So that was basically his point of view. But then also he said, if I remember correctly, I'd have to go back and watch the podcast myself, to be honest. He said something along the lines of DMCA rules do need to change. So it's too much
That's a fairly common stance that we've got, like we have, and who we spoke to have had as well.
Not enough power placed in the artist's hands.
Yeah, and no problem, Otis.
Yeah, no problem, Otis. Thank you. But yeah, so that's part of the plan. Obviously you've got me and Kit here with no guest. We've decided, and I was saying this to Kit just before we went live actually with the podcast. We've decided that what we're gonna do is gonna get used to the new format of doing it every 2 weeks. You know, bi-weekly format that we've got going now with the podcast. Because we were doing every week, but it was too much stress for me trying to get a guest, because I would have to literally finish a podcast on the Thursday, reach out to somebody on the Friday, which at the time I was also streaming on a Friday, and then streaming on a Saturday, and I'd also have to export the Twitch VOD over to YouTube, and then on Sunday set it to schedule to go live at 5 o'clock, and basically ended up by Monday, which I was also streaming on Monday at that point, like I was starting my stream on the Monday and nobody had got back to me about being on the podcast 2 to 3 days later. So I basically just turned around to Kit and said, honestly, I kind of give up with reaching out to people as much as I want people to be on here, so that we can say, look, this is this awesome person that we enjoy watching and hanging out with. Come and hang out with them, sort of thing. If I have to sort of tear my hair out, or are we going to have somebody on Thursday or not, it's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? And then the fact that we switched it now to 2 weeks is also partly down to Kit is the one that finds most of the topics, if not all of them. And
usually.
Yeah, usually. We'll get onto that in a minute. But obviously he works, so he needs time for himself and his family after work, and just to chill, you know, not have to be scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through news sites, looking for topic for us to discuss. So to give him that little bit of extra time, we've, you know, put it back to 2 weeks. That being said, if there is anyone who wants to be on the podcast, wants to come and have a chat with us, don't have to play Destiny. Obviously, that's a plus side because we do talk about Destiny things.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have some context, but
we would love to have you on to sort of introduce you to people who either listen to the podcast elsewhere, but maybe not necessarily hang out in our streams, or people who, like Rob earlier, Rob who's just like subbed and gave 500 bits. hangs out in my stream whenever he can, and probably doesn't know a few of the people that we've had on the podcast, so maybe he will watch it, listen to it, whatever he decided to do, and go, oh, I'll go and check this person out next. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, basically, long story short, if you want to be on, reach out to us. If not, for now, me and Kit are just going to do these, just the two of us, sort of hang out, chill, discuss the topics that we find. This week's kind of light, but also there's a couple.
It's light, but some of them are big.
Yeah, hitting home. So
yeah. So we'll get some of the little stuff out the way first with Twitch, shall we?
Yeah, we'll move on to Twitch. So
which one are you going for first?
The Twitch
yeah, this. The ads. So I don't think this is going to completely replace the what are they called? The pre-stream ads.
Pre-rolls.
Pre-rolls. That's them. I don't think it's going to completely replace those, but it should give you another options. It's still ads, right? But it doesn't get in the way of gameplay. If you're in the middle of dragging out, you don't want an ad.
I've had it before, right? I've loaded up. Right now, I'm subbed to Civics, right? But earlier this month, I think it was last Apex season. Just after me and him played for the first time on Apex. Through Lee's stream. He was playing Apex on his stream. So I was like, yeah, let me go and hang out with him. And literally, as I loaded in, he's killed one person, he's shooting at another, and then ad. And it's like, so why give me that little preview of the stream and then give me the ad? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, if they gave the ad straight away, you wouldn't know that you were missing something.
Yeah, and then I got.
You'd notice when you'd notice when the ad finishes.
Yeah, and then after the ad, I got back into the stream sort of thing, and the person he was shooting at before the ad was down. So was he, and one of his teammates, and his third. I think it might have actually been Lee at that point, clutched up. And I was like, okay, that was cool, and I'd like to have seen the whole fucking thing, but... So I think an ad like this would actually make a difference on that front. And I would personally, if Twitch is able to...
I had a thought here. You know how you can manually run ads?
Yeah.
I think in the automated instances, when you first load in and stuff like that, it should be these. But then if you manually run ads, it comes up with the videos.
I was going to say that's what they should do. If Twitch can, that's what I was about to say. When I said if Twitch can, I personally think that's what it should be. These are the... Here, you've loaded into the stream, here's an ad. And
because it doesn't get in the way, even if you don't run ads manually, Twitch could just throw one of these in every now and then.
Yeah. And then that whole controversy we had last year, where Twitch were forcing random ads on creators, and then there was a load of kickback, and then they went, okay, we're not going to do that. They could do this. They could, with the small ads, force those ads, and the creator themselves be none the wiser, other than obviously looking at
if they were watching it back themselves in a page or whatever, or if chat mentioned it.
Yeah, or in their statistics, if they notice all of a sudden they've gone from
you've got a little ad revenue,
to 3 pence. do you know on that front, right? Do you know how Bean, whenever he runs ads, as he's trying to stop pre-rolls, as he's going to get food or something, how he always says to people, don't worry, I'm not doing this to make the money. I literally make fuck all off of ads, blah blah, this, that, and the other.
Oh yeah, no, you really do.
And then some people are like, yeah, whatever, sort of like they don't believe him. I looked since I last got paid from Twitch in April till now.
Ad revenue is what, like 15p?
More than that.
Oh, it's more than that. It's good.
It's about £3. £3.5p, I think it was. Something
God,
like that.
April.
But that is like 4 months, 5
Yeah.
months, or something like that. £3. Like, not even £3. It's $3. It's $3.
Yeah.
So it's what, fucking £2.50 maybe.
Yeah. It's a bit better than what I remember. The last time I remember ad revenue statistics and stuff was on YouTube, and I had one video that got like way more views than like the rest of them, and like it kept getting more views every month. And like it wasn't like a massive influx or whatever. It was like the other videos had done like, I don't know, 20 or 30, and this one was doing 1,000. And then like another
I've got that
4 or
on my.
5
I've
every
got that
month.
on my.
But like since I'd set up my AdSense account, linked it and everything, I got like 12 cents.
Yeah, I've got that
Off
on
the video.
my YouTube channel. If I go and look at it real quick, well, whilst it loads, I'll carry on talking.
Yeah. Like you see all like
I
you know
look at
the big companies making like lots of money off of ads and stuff.
yeah.
And it's like that's because they've got a lot of space to sell. Like if you think like let's
Well,
say
here's the thing, right?
Nivea buy an ad spot on Twitch, how many different places are they going to put that ad?
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
The people see like, so I was watching Summit for GTA RP, right? He was on
Yeah.
the No Pixel whitelist server. It's quite entertaining, and because I wasn't subbed, like periodically, whenever I'm guessing it was just a certain fucking mod. Because one night I was in there and didn't get a single fucking ad, but every other night
Yeah.
I was in there and
Yeah,
had an
it's just like
ad
one of his
every
mods just
like
going, oh,
15
it's been
minutes.
like 2 hours from an ad.
Yeah.
Oh, every 15. Yeah, that's a bit excessive. When it's
So
every
people
15.
see
It,
that.
actually, I don't think it lets you every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Does it?
I don't think it is, but like
But it
I was
felt like
over
it. It felt like
exaggerating, but
that.
it felt like that, yeah. Because of the fact that it was the nature of partway through a conversation he was having in RP, which is part of the story that he's trying to put across on his stream and stuff like that. Like there would be an ad, and it wouldn't be just oh, here's a 30-second ad. It would be the 90 seconds. Here's 30-second ads. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you're gonna miss like 4 fucking conversations in that time.
Exactly. But yeah, people see that and be like, and see, oh, he's got like 20,000 viewers, and go, oh, he's probably making bank off of ads. Do you know what I mean? So then they see a smaller creator do it, and they're like, oh, well, they're just trying to make the same bank, so they're running them as much as possible because they never know how much they're gonna earn, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's not the case. Whenever someone like Fiend turns around and goes, I'm running ads to stop pre-rolls, it is literally for anybody that isn't subbed to not get an ad as soon as the stream starts up, like for them on their piece on their webpage or handheld device that they open the app up. But yeah, to go back to the YouTube thing because it's loaded. I have my new character before Rise of Iron and updates about my old podcast, which was my clan podcast back when I ran a clan in Call of Duty, Nightmare Gaming. 5 years ago, 1.2k views. The next video after that is Star Wars Battlefront 2's campaign, and episode 11, which was basically mission 11 because I stopped the stream and start the stream again to have the actual file there just export rather than having to fuck around with markers and shit. 3 years ago, 255 views. After that, 5 years ago again, Oryx dying for the first time. Well, it wasn't my first time, it was my second time. But basically, long story short, we had a raid team, we got to Oryx. Half of them had to go, so we got another half in. We beat it, and then the next night, the other half wanted to do it, so we gathered up as many of the people that we could from, you know, the original team that beat it. Whether it was the second half that came in just for Oryx or the first half that was there from the beginning. And we beat it, and I was like, well, I didn't record it last night, but I'm fucking recording it this time. So yeah, that's got 123 views. And then there's like a recruitment video for NMG that has 68 views from 7 years ago. And that's like basically it. Like, they're my most popular uploads.
Right, here we go. I was slightly off before. My highest viewed video is a video I made in 2014 showing some of the vehicles in Far Cry 4. In the last 28 days, it's had 56 views. Since it was uploaded, it's in the last 28 days, it's had 56 views. Yeah, I don't know why people are still watching it. Shit. And it's like, it's not even like any of the recent Far Cry. It's Far Cry 4, for God's sake. And it's had since November 18th, 2014, it's had 24,149 views.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's got 115 likes to 22 dislikes.
But yeah, so like,
and
I think
actually, I can't even make any money off that anymore because I think they changed the monetization rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
You have to hit 1,000 subs to get monetization now.
Yeah.
Which is
and 4,000 watch hours total.
Yep, and it's kind of annoying. The watch hours though.
That's insane.
The watch hours though are what's it called? They are like overall. So it's like YouTube videos. It's just within the last like 12 months. All YouTube videos, any live streams you do on there and stuff like that. I watched a Harris Heller video on it. But at the same time, you think about follows compared to subs on YouTube versus Twitch, right? If I hadn't started my Twitch channel and just streamed over on YouTube instead, I still, to this day, would not be monetized over there if everybody who found me on Twitch found me over there, which they wouldn't because a few people have found me through raids and drive-bys, which isn't possible.
Yeah.
Like Anubis, one night I was helping Sorry I'm Dead from the Legion get his son through Outbreak mission. I forget what it's fucking called. 0 Hour. Right?
Yeah.
And we were part way through, we got to Trevor, and Anubis fucking drive-by'd me. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, obviously I was thanking him and all this, but there was a bunch of people came in, followed, and they wouldn't have found me. He can't drive by me. Well, he technically can, but it's like a completely different website. Do you know what I mean? People aren't going to open up a new, necessarily open up a new page to go over to YouTube. But he probably wouldn't have known me. The point I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? Because we're on different platforms.
Yeah. Yeah. On our platform, what else have we got?
They have changed.
What else has happened?
They have changed local sub pricing for Europe. Well, they are changing them this starting this week, and the new sub prices have come into effect in the UK. And that means also including Ireland. So obviously that means we've got €3.99 Great British pounds and €3.99 in Ireland for subs starting from the 5th. So if you was to like try and buy a sub right now, it is $3.99 if you're in the UK or Ireland. I sort of already made the most of this. I am already subbed to Lee because somebody gave me a sub.
Yeah.
I'm already subbed to Civics because somebody gave me a sub.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more gifts floating around.
But
And I've
I'm not on about
kind
I
of
haven't
fell
made them.
victim to the mentality as well.
They
Because
gifted me them. They gifted me
yeah,
them
yeah,
last month. Like
yeah.
it's halfway through the month when my like gift subs run out for them. And obviously, if I've
All
got the
right,
money,
yeah.
I'll be refreshing them.
Yes.
But
Like I've
I
fell
was
victim to the
trying to gift.
mentality already.
I
I'll
was
explain in a bit.
gifting.
Go on.
I gifted a couple subs out in Lee's channel last night, just to say, appreciate him and much love sort of thing. And then today, um, I loaded up Civic Stream and I was like, what do I say to say, good morning, hello, afternoon, however, like just to greet him and say how's the stream going and shit. And he's playing Apex, and then I noticed there was somebody in his chat talking Dutch to him, and he was like chatting Dutch back, which obviously he's Dutch. Like it's in his stream title, English and Netherlands, so you to expect both languages. But yeah, and I was like, oh, so he clearly knows of this person, like they've been in here before, and it was the only person I could see in the chat that didn't have a sub. And I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna gift that person a sub, and then he's gonna turn around and go, "Hey, Treb, how you doing?" And then the conversation can start. Little did I know the person I gifted the sub to lost their mother today to MS.
Ooh,
And
oh,
apparently,
that's rough.
he's typed in Civic's chat in Dutch, which Civic obviously translated to me. That basically made his day, and he very much appreciated it. Do you know the fucking goosebumps? I'm getting them again right now.
Yeah,
Like I got when I heard
yeah,
that, I was like, like I'm sorry for his loss, but at least I could try and help make him feel better.
yeah. I was gonna say from before. I was in Naz's stream the day before, yesterday.
Mm.
Yesterday. And I think no, it was. I can't remember. It was either yesterday or the day before. And I clicked the button. I was going to go and gift a couple of subs, and then it was just the price had dropped. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I can hit a couple more people.
Mm. Well, see, here's the thing as well. Subs on the mobile app will also be reduced, but they also be a slightly higher price on mobile than web.
Yeah,
And that is
probably for the
because
same reason that it's still. Yeah,
the store
they take a
providers
cut first.
take a cut. So if you were paying $4.99 a sub on the Twitch app, that is because your provider for the store. So if you've got an Android, it's Google. If you've got because it's Google Play Store. If you've got an iPhone, it's iOS. The iStore, the Apple Store.
Apple. Yeah.
They take a cut first, which is why they charge that extra pound more. So it's the same with like the US. If the US dollars is $5.99 on the mobile app, that will be why. But yeah, so with that covered, we did put the Back for Blood beta in like its own separate category with the games and stuff, because we normally cover a few other games in regards
Yeah,
to
we kind of mentioned it at the start.
yeah.
But
So
yeah,
obviously
here
we've
are
got the
some
beta.
dates.
Yeah. So if you've got the early access, if you're watching somebody from the 5th onwards, and you watch them for half an hour, or is it an hour?
It's an hour. It's an hour.
Then you get access
You
to
can
the
get a drop. You can get
open
access.
beta.
Yep.
Or if you
So actually, the I believe if you get the drop from watching someone during early access, that you can also get in during the early access.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because then you've
You
got
can
the
register
open
so you can register for a chance
a
to
week
gain
later.
access, or you can pre-order the game and get early access. And obviously there's the time zones that it actually went live at the time. But yeah. moving swiftly on to the Destiny shit.
Here we go.
So
We're going
firstly,
to PvP first.
yeah. Firstly, on August 4th, so Wednesday. Yeah,
Yep.
Wednesday. We had an insight, if you will, into PvP news. A couple things. I'm not gonna read the whole thread, but Joe Garoff here, or Joe Blackburn is his actual name. Obviously, his handle is Joe Garoff. Goes through and highlights a couple of the plans that they've got for PvP going forward. So like obviously they're on about maps. So one here is like the replies map in season 16 and 17. Will come with a brand new map, blah blah blah. And then something about rotating, added to the rotation, and so on and so forth. And then
I wonder which
the
map they're
team,
looking at bringing in from D1 then.
yeah. Second, the team is
And which
working on
maps they're
new
bringing back
modes.
from D2.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
actually
working
quite
on new
excited about the
maps.
one above that because they're bringing Rift. I love Rift.
Yeah, I loved Rift as well. It's funny though because they say Destiny Sandbox has sped up in Destiny 2. Yeah, until the
Yeah.
Go Slow update that
Yeah.
we're about to talk about in the TWAB.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Rob, new maps. Well, a new map. And then two of them that we had in D2. Or was it three of them that we had in D2 that we lost are going to come back?
But yeah, then obviously we've got a bunch more people commenting on it. Obviously
Yeah,
Destiny
that
Crucible here.
Destiny Crucible post.
Yeah.
The number of days since new original maps. That's way too many. And I'm glad we're getting something, but by the
Dude,
time we get a
the
new map,
fact that
it'll be
it's
what, a full 3 years?
267 days since losing 11 maps, and then you've still got this, these stats above it of no new original maps and no new reprised map. Like, is ridiculous. Like, you would think that the stat line should read, 100 and something days since a new original map, 50 days since a new reprised map, 267 days since we lost 11. You know what I mean? It's kind of fucking stupid when you think about it. But yeah, I think this was a bone thrown to the PvP crowd. Before they basically.
I think it's nice that he's got a bit more detail into it rather than just the previous. Because like, up to now we've just sort of had, oh yeah, we're working on PvP stuff. This is like, okay, this is the PvP stuff we're working on.
I do like. I think it was great for him to do it on Twitter because there's going to be a bunch of people who will check Twitter and see it, but not everybody will. I think there needed to be a state of PvP, like they do the state of the game, and he wrote that earlier this year. I think they should have just done a state of PvP blog post, kind of like the TWAB, but it's literally him just going through and going, this is all the stuff, and then all these tweets can go in that. Do you know what I mean? In one easily readable, because right now I've got to fucking scroll, and like I just said, I'm not reading. I mean,
it's a long Twitter thread. You need like what was it, like the Unravel bot or whatever, or you could have put in a twit longer.
Or twit longer, yeah, that would have worked as well. So yeah, with that being said, we'll go to last week at Bungie, which was all about the ending of the ending of Solstice of Heroes.
Oh yeah, I don't think I played at all during Solstice.
I got my purple armor so I would be able to buy the
the glows.
The glows with 6,000 bright dust, and then I didn't touch it ever since.
Yeah, but this is some important stuff in here.
Crossplay. So we've also had this clarified by Bungie since on Twitter. So basically, with regards to this, because obviously they can't turn around and go like, so for me, I'm Intrepidus 1, pretty much everywhere. But I couldn't have that because it wouldn't fit on Xbox. So I am Intrepidus. I am Intrepidus, right? So rather than go, oh, right, well, your main platform is, because my main platform technically, because that's where my characters are drawn from, is Xbox.
Wait, what? When did you try and change your name to that? When did you set your name to I'm Intrepidus? Because like my username's longer, and there's a space in the middle.
Yeah, there's they made it so that
So when did they raise the limit?
No, they changed it to where it's now 12 characters, not 13, because I couldn't even, once I tried to change it, like once I wanted to look how many characters I had to change it, I couldn't put SG Intrepidus either. I would have to have had it, which was my old game tag. I would have had to take the space out of my gamer tag.
That is annoying.
Yeah. Well, I could have. This is the thing. I could have had Intrepidus just point blank, but I would have then had hashtag 2507 or whatever the fucking on the end. And I was like, no, that's not happening. I want an original fucking gamer tag, and I am Intrepidus was at the time. As far as I'm aware, still is. Or I have got the original one.
I've got no hope with mine.
After that,
I'd need to cut out 3 characters.
Yeah. So, but they basically give you a free change. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll change my name from SG because my old clan of Synapse Gaming from Call of Duty, which was the evolution of NMG, who I was on about earlier. So basically, we changed from NMG over to SG. We all just like kind of went our separate ways and shit, or a few of us stayed playing with each other, but playing games other than COD. And there was no clan wars, so SG sort of just disappeared. But so I was like, right, I want to change it, and I want to take the SG out of my name. And so I went to change it, and it was like, oh yeah, you get a free one. Like, oh, okay. And then it was like, oh, but now you only get 12 characters, and blah blah blah.
And you've got
okay. Yeah. So that's when I changed it to I'm Intrepidus. But anyway, my point being, my name over there is different to what it is on Steam, right? So they're like, oh, okay, well, we need to make it so you've got a Bungie name, which is what, essentially, the long and short of all this is that you are going to given a Bungie name. What was clarified on Twitter by Bungie was, or one of the employees, was that it's going to be if you're on Steam, it's going to be your Steam display name, not your profile name. So like right now, my old gamer tag on Xbox.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good.
When I was in NMG, when I
because I'll be honest, my Steam profile name is like so old.
So is mine. That's where I was going. Like when I ran NMG, I went by the name Ghostly NMG. Right?
Yeah.
Because Call of Duty, I was always the one had Ghost, Cold Blooded, Silenced Weapon, and yeah, I was flanking your ass, and you didn't know where the fuck I was. So I was a ghost. Made sense.
I used to love all that loadout, all those perks and stuff, but I was never any good with them.
Yeah, and then Advanced Warfare changed that, and I became Fearless because we was playing the Clan Wars for Advanced Warfare, and we had NMG going at the time, and I was like, okay, what are we doing with regards to this then? So we're going through, and I'm like, do you know what? The silencers aren't that good in this game. People know where you are anyway because of the jetpack. So I'm just gonna fucking push people, like, not give a shit. And so I was pushing everything. Like, I'm talking where I actually got the Fearless moniker from was one of the lads, Ollie, or Who's Mental, is his name on Twitter. I think it's still his name on Twitter. But anyway, that was his name on Xbox as well. We were playing Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy was not ever my game mode, because I hated the one life and you're done aspect of it. partly because I was typically the one that got flanked, killed, and or sniped and killed right at the beginning of their fucking game. So I was always the one sat there bored. But I digress. The point being, I then became Fearless NMG, and then when we switched over to SG, that's when I became Intrepidus, because the SG Fearless or Fearless SG just didn't sound great to me. So I was like, right, what's Latin for Fearless? And Intrepid came up and was like, okay, Intrepidus, because the old, and I think I've said this before, the
the Warhammer.
The Warhammer like Adeptus mechanic kind of thing. But yeah, so with that, my gamer tag was what I set my Steam up with like 7 years ago. So it's Ghostly NMG is my actual profile name. But my display name is obviously Intrepidus.
Oh, I know approximately how old my username is because it's got the year in it. 2012. That's really not a name I want above my head when I'm playing Destiny.
Yeah. So the point is, they're gonna basically go, all right, your name is Intrepidus1 for me, obviously.
And here are your numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your account has on Steam has like hand cannon, sniper rifle, rocket launcher, as they give the example here.
Yeah.
Then they will take that out and they will put your name as just Guardian, and you won't be able to change it at first.
Yeah.
Until a later date.
Yeah. What I'm kind of curious on is when they say about like taking out these thingy characters. If you look at mine, the like the brackets that are in mine are actually brackets that you use in a language. So they can be typed, just not with an English keyboard. So would they remove them or not?
They probably will.
I mean, it's fine because if they remove them, it's just my username. It's fine.
If I was you, just before season 15 starts, I would just set your name as Enraged Kitsune and remove those characters and then change it back once season 15 kicks off. It's also set by the first one that you log in.
First one you log in on, yeah. So if I log into Xbox first, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah. Whereas for me it would, because obviously it's Intrepidus. I'm Intrepidus or Intrepidus1. Yeah, point. So with that, you've got Fireteam Finder, you know, for crossplay, a bunch of other things with regards to crossplay that a bunch of people have covered on videos and stuff. So if you want to read through all of it, I'm sure you could probably find someone who's read through it all for you. For the level playing field, regards to Crucible, Iron Banner, Trials, and Gambit. That they've mentioned this before. PC players will only match with other PC players. Console players will match with other console players. And Stadia, because it runs at like 30 FPS and 60 FPS, whatever it is, will
latency.
And the latency and all that will be part of the console pool. So Stadia will be treated as if it is a console, not a PC. Any console players that join their PC friends, so as it says here, Fireteam members, any combination of PC players and console players, will be placed in the PC player pool. So you won't have an example, for instance, of me, Kit, and his brother Yokai, who plays on Xbox, me and Kit playing on PC. You won't have us join on Yokai to get into console lobbies because the two of us are on PC. Yokai will automatically get placed into PC lobbies with us. I think they say somewhere that they're going to try and make it so that it's sort of a balance of console players on both teams if you've got a console player with you in your fire team. So if we and you were to bring Yokai in, then somebody would be on console on the other team as well, to sort of balance it a little bit. So they're trying to find another team that has got a PC player and a console player together.
And
Whereas,
I will say, like with regards to this, they've mentioned that this bit in particular they mentioned a few times in advance.
yeah,
And you know, when we first heard that they were bringing crossplay in, I mean, we envisaged this exact layout that they've done. You know, they'd have a profile. You know, maybe not necessarily dragging the name from existing names, but you'd have, you know, everyone does it pretty much the same way now. You've got a profile, and then you add your platform friends as friends through that profile.
yeah,
And it doesn't matter what platform you're on, you just have that separate friends list.
exactly. But then PV modes will have their own global matchmaking pool. So if you matchmake into a strike, PC, console,
Which
doesn't
should
matter.
make matching into strikes and stuff a lot quicker because there's like so many people in the pool waiting.
Exactly. Voice chat will not be enabled when it releases, and they'll run it as they've run into some late breaking issues with the development, and are currently working on making sure that it's ready before shipping it live. Long story short, they were considering, because of the fact that text chat will not be available either to consoles. At least it will still be available to Steam players. So if me and Kit are talking in game chat on text chat, then which most likely wouldn't be because we'd be in Discord. But if we were putting something in game chat to try and remember it, like people do with raids, then console players who are in the strike or raid with us wouldn't be able to see it until Witch Queen.
I don't know, you know, depending on who I'm playing with, I might be in just hop on game bar.
But my point being, so this is the yeah, they basically if they wanted, they basically said they almost delayed crossplay because those two features weren't ready. But because they wanted to get it into players' hands, because players want it, you know, we've proven that we want it by all of the excitement that around the bug that gave it out, gave it out early accidentally at the beginning of this season, and then with the, you know, crossplay beta, which was just a strike playlist that was crossplay. There was a bunch of people that took part in it.
I kind of like the way they did that though, because like they looked and like we had the bug, so it's like, okay, yeah, like being connected to the same instance is obviously working fine, even if we didn't intend to test that yet.
Yeah.
So they just didn't need to test that. They've already got the data for it. Just test matchmaking, which is what the playlist was for.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like they made sure everything was sort of running on a gameplay side, but communication
like,
side isn't. And it was like, right, well,
no.
rather than delay it and people get upset, we'll just put it out and then we'll say, look, we're adding these key points in later because we didn't want to break crossplay.
Yeah, especially if they've got the friends list thing ready.
Yeah.
Because like you look at it and you go, okay, well you've got this ready, and we know the playlist works because we beta tested it, and we know the instancing works because, well, we had the bug and the strike instances. Yeah. So why aren't you rolling it out? And you'd have people like constantly like having a go at them, like, why haven't you brought it out? Why haven't you brought it out? And then next thing you know, we'll end up with like, okay, it's probably not going to be as bad, but we'd end up like crossplay, like sort of towards the fucking Cyberpunk release.
Yeah.
And that's really not what we want.
We've got Flying the Banner for one last time. Iron Banner is currently on right now as we're recording this.
Oh, is this okay? Nice.
The last one for this season. Then there's obviously the run about the Bungie Foundation stuff. Porting the player 1.12 at a time. A bunch of things to do with updates, hotfix that was released, known issues, and you've got your movie of the weeks. I watched this. This is fucking phenomenal. Like, in fact, to the point where, look, it's 18 seconds. I'm gonna play it. Alright. Look at that.
Oh, what the hell?
999,000. You see the damage
No,
numbers come
no,
up.
no. It will have been higher. That's as high as it will show.
Oh yeah, true. She has higher health than that, doesn't she? But the point
Yeah.
is, you see the fucking number come up.
I mean, it's a ridiculously high number for a single sword strike.
Yeah. Arc empowered, keened, charged with light. Fucking. That is nuts. Yeah, that's somebody did it in game, Rob. He just said in chat for those who are watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast platforms. He says, "Is that really going to be the damage though?" Yeah, it's higher than that. That's the highest it will show is 9999 999. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, because Yokai did one. I can't remember. It was like solar empowerment or something, and he had a celestial and a bunch of other things going on. And like one shot, something that just came off 99999. And then when he looked at like the oh yeah, you dealt this much damage, you know, like at the end,
Yeah.
where you got the PGCR, he had like way more, and he'd only fired the one shot.
Yeah. Then you've got the artists of the week. That is cool.
Yeah, that is nice.
It's I'm guessing artist rendition of Riven. That's supposed to be dragon.
Yeah.
And then a bubble titan. Then you've got this one.
Like you look at it though, it's like that's a bubble titan, and you've seen the size of the bubbles, but then you look at that image, and it's like it's tiny.
Yeah. But that's still cool. And then let's. Speaking of what you were saying with regards to people being upset and calling out fucking the devs and being horrible, some might argue toxic. Let's get into this week at Bungie because there's been a bunch of shit going around on Twitter with regards to people having disagreements about the sandbox changes that are coming to mainly to PvP, right?
Oh, there's that thread we mentioned before.
Yeah, there's the tweet. Then there's a bunch of good things. So here's like, look, we're giving you separate melee actions, so you won't knife.
Oh, finally!
Lunge. Yeah, I thought finally when we seen it. Basically, there's going to be another option in the settings.
How's that going to work on controllers though?
It's charged melee, uncharged melee, and auto melee. So auto melee is the new name for the melee action that you're used to, where it's context sensitive and its behavior will be changed based on your equipped ability and proximity to enemies. It usually does its job well, but
No more will I be looking at the ground, trying to throw a smoke grenade and then stab something.
Yeah.
Ah, lovely.
Well, auto melee is basically what we have now. Right, that's that'll be option 1.
Yeah, I'll
in the action.
I'll be switching to charged and uncharged actions because I've got the keys to do it.
Yeah, and then charged is new action that will always activate your charged melee. So if you're a hunter trying to throw a smoke grenade, as Kit said, or throw your throwing knife if you're on solar, if you have this one on, you will always throw that. Pressing the input when your melee ability is not fully charged will perform no action and cause the melee action to flash red. Melee ability icon even to flash red, similar to how a grenade ability works. And then uncharged melee is the new action given to any normal melee. So on a hunter.
Oh, actually, I've just read a little further down. That's not a bad idea.
What's that?
The game controller. So you know how at the moment we've got the bumper button is just melee.
Yeah.
And a lot of other games you like click the stick to melee.
Yeah.
So you just have both. One of them is your melee action, and one of them is your just uncharged stab.
And it doubles up finisher and uncharged melee.
Yeah, that's good.
I would probably double up my finisher and uncharged melee. Or no, double my uncharged melee. So like I'll just basically, because my finisher, and this is, I was telling I think it was Lee or Civics, and they was like, it's weird, is scroll down. So when an enemy is weak in front of me, I scroll down and boom, finisher. But yeah, so obviously they're going to be doing that. We've got long-term ability plans. They're changing a bunch of abilities going forward, which they're actually going to cover a couple of them further down. Ability balance pass in season 15. Stasis freezes are getting changed again. Frozen players can now initiate the breakout while airborne. Shortened breakout animation and camera transition. This means once you decide to break out, you'll be able to fight back sooner. Differentiate long freeze and short freeze. Visual treatment to make each status easier to identify. Slide. So slide. This is what was on about when I said the go slow update.
Minus 20 stability, and then specifically 15% extra shotguns for pirate spread.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted out earlier. I saw
and extra flinch.
I saw someone tweet out earlier like a snip of this, and it said, it was basically that one. It says me laughing, because it was a laughing face as well. It said me laughing as
laughs
a
in slugs.
Slug user. Yeah. Then you've got Titan changes. You know, rally barricades getting changed, getting a buff. To make it more usable, because nobody uses rally barricade anymore.
Yeah, well, it was only used for like the reload benefits and stuff that it gave, wasn't it?
Yeah. Then,
but now you get like some actual stuff from it.
Yeah, you get 30 stability, 10 range, and minus.
That's a really good. That's a good change. That should have been in to begin with. Actually, the first bullet point.
Yeah.
You know, if you're moving faster and you hit a wall, of course you're going to take more damage.
But yeah, so all the barricades are now getting changed to do, as Kit said there, when you move through one at high velocity, you'll take more damage. So ideal example is you don't want to run through a barricade or slide through it. You'll want to walk through it, not too slowly, because obviously it'll still kill you.
But yeah, because if you like freak through it, then you'll take the damage more often. Well, not more often, but more times. Because it doesn't just hit you once; it's like hit.
Yeah, exactly. But then barricades slightly protrude into the ground to better protect Titan's feet, even on uneven ground. This should reduce instances where explosions and projectiles were able to sneak through the bottom of a Titan barricade and hit the Titan.
Yeah, popping on a slope really wasn't a very good idea until this change.
Yeah. Then Behemoth's getting changed. Cryoclasm, which is the slide. While equipped, base slide now shatters crystals and frozen enemies. So obviously you won't do the super long slide, but you will still be able to shatter crystals, which basically allows you to go back to the old way of using Glacier Chasm with glacial grenades. Increase the duration of the screen effects, notifying players that Cryochasm's long slide is ready from 1 second to 4.5 seconds.
Okay. So instead of coming up for like a tiny period to say, hey, your slide's ready, you'll get like slightly longer to notice the notification. Because you might be in the middle of shooting at someone and you don't see it on the corner of your eye or whatever.
We have to sprint anyway to get it, don't you?
Well, yeah, but...
But increased movement speed from Shiver Strike by 25%. Then Whisper of Rhyme fixed a bug where the overshield provided by Whisper of Rhyme was not scaling precision damage correctly.
Oh, okay. That I like that. They've kind of been vague by that. Like, was it? Because I don't know. I don't use it. I've not been in for a bit. But was that scaling too much down, or not scaling enough
I
down,
have no idea.
or not scaling at all?
I don't use
I was
it.
just like, if you're getting body shot, then it'll take the hits for you properly. But if you got hit in the face, it'll just do nothing.
But this is a good one for PvE at least. Throwing hammer on middle tree Sunbreaker. Increase time before the hammer explodes after hitting the ground from 6.5.
Oh,
that's
quite a significant boost.
So you can
along with
run
the
over
extra
and
damage,
pick it up again. And then increased damage versus powerful PvE combatants. So anything with a yellow bar, like orangey bar, like vandals in the GM, the sniper vandals in the GM from last week, by around 50%. Then top tree and bottom tree striker have got a couple of changes as well. Fist of Havoc's detonation radius has been increased by 14%. Slam damage fall off has been reduced. Reduced slam attack activation cost from 21% of super energy to 18. Middle tree striker. This is causing a thread that I saw earlier tweeted by, I think it was Pigeon, to be like unearthed, if you will, thinking that Bungie's going to basically say that they're doing unlimited primary ammo. Because right now, inertia override, if you hit somebody with middle tree strikers melee, or maybe I think it's a super as well, you kill someone with it, with either one, it activates inertia override, which reloads the currently equipped weapon, I believe. I'd have to actually sign in and check my Titan, double check the exact reading on that, but they've now changed it to the increased duration. It obviously does something else because there's a duration on it. But it's right now it's 4 seconds. It's going to be 6, and it's sliding over an ammo brick now grants 20% melee energy. So if you've got a whole bunch of ammo that you're about to pick up in the middle of a GM, slide, you'll get your melee back, which improves the neutral game of this subclass so much better. And that the neutral game of the subclass was the thing that was stopping me from playing that subclass exclusive. Then you've got a couple of changes to Ward of Dawn.
Okay.
Similar sort of changes being made. A similar sort of changes being made to the well as well, but we'll get to that in a minute. Where basically Ward of Dawn increased damage taken from bosses from 0.25% to 7% at 0 resilience.
0.25 times, so a quarter of the damage to 7 times. So the bubble itself takes a lot more damage from bosses.
Yeah. If you have zero,
not necessarily.
Notice this part.
Okay. So if you max out your resilience, the person who pops the bubble, then it's still. Okay.
So now it's actually tied to a stat, right? Damage taken will scale down to 0.25 times based on the owner's resilience. So if you have 10 resilience and you're a Titan and you pop a bubble, you are going to be doing. The bubble is going to take the same amount of damage that it currently takes before it pops. Right?
But if you don't and you put all your stats in getting the bubble out.
Yeah, if you have 0 resilience, it's going to take 7 times the amount of damage. So whereas it would take 7 shots, now it will get 1 shot. Is the easiest way to explain that.
No. Well, if it would take 7 shots, yeah, it'll get 1 shot. But like, if it would have taken 21, 28.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going from
My bad. I
0.25 to
forgot about the
7.
0.2. Yeah. My
Yeah.
bad. Math's hard, okay? Leave me alone.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's my best subject, but it's still hard.
I'm not going to deny it's hard.
A change in Revenant again. Silence and Squall.
Oh no, why are they increasing the squall movement speed?
I know, it's hard enough. When I read that, I was like, do you even play this game? Like you even play PvP?
It's not too hard to get away from.
It is.
If you stay away, it's not hard. If you get caught by it once, you cannot escape it. Like if it starts slowing you down, you're done.
Yeah. But then Squall Storm now stops when it touches a boss. So if you pass it on a boss, it will stay there. Thank you.
That is cool. Yeah.
And Withering Blade, they're increasing the speed of the shurikens and the tracking again by 10%. I know for a fact Otis is going to be fucking happy about that. Just the fact that they're getting a little bit of a buff. They're not obviously going to be as potent as they were before, but there you go. Middle Tree Gunslinger. Knife.
What are they doing to Goldie? Come on.
Well, it's Middle Tree, so it's...
Well, yeah, that's Middle Tree, so that's the blades.
Yeah.
But I can see the other trees further down.
Yeah, so we'd like to give hunters a larger window to defeat burning enemies to trigger the Playing with Fire perk. As such, we're giving the knife trick timer a 25% buff. So it's going from 3 seconds.
You get an extra second in between burning. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Top tree Gunslinger. The super now damage.
Oh, the damage fall off starts further out.
Now starts 20 meters. 25 instead of 25 instead of 20. Arc Strider.
I don't know how to take the Arc Strider changes because I don't really use the class.
Yeah, I have used it a bunch on when I'm on my hunter, primarily for like for stuff like
I mean, I'm all for increasing PvE damage.
Yeah, well, that needed it. Like, it was basically useless in PvE except for ad clear. But this Deadly Reach, 8 seconds to 10 seconds. There's a build that you can actually run with regards to Deadly Reach, which is you put the dodge to get your melee energy back, and you melee something to get your dodge back, so you just dodge, melee, dodge, melee, dodge, melee, dodge, melee, dodge, and that is how people...
Yeah, I think it's been that build.
Yeah.
Having an extra 2 seconds to pull that off is nice.
Yeah. That's how people were getting laurels the first year of Guardian games for hunters.
Oh yeah, all the melee abilities, yeah.
They've also extended the passive super duration, so if you're not meleeing like a madman with the staff, it will go from
which is what 80% of people do as soon as it's popped.
16 seconds.
That and the little dodge thing.
16 seconds up to 20 seconds. Like you said, they're increasing the damage by 33%, and also the slam detonation. So if you jump up in the air and then slam down, the radius is getting increased by a further meter. Lightning Weave. Now, Middle Tree Arc Strider I've not used all too much, except for when people was like, oh, it deflects the Silence and Squall. I tried using it and Silence and Squall still froze me. And so I was like, right, well, rather than, you know, offering myself up as tribute to the fucking thing, I'll just carry on running away and I'll use my super in a different way. Therefore, I don't need to use that super. I'll use a Middle Tree Night Stalker, Spectral Blades, or I'll use, you know, Golden Gun or whatever. So I was never using it. But
that last bullet point is interesting.
Yeah, very. So I'd have to go and look what Lightning Weave actually does.
Being able to extend it by dealing damage with a new weapon and having another way to proc it.
Yeah, which is the melee, the slide melee.
Yeah.
Then you've got
That's just a
military
proc it already
rank
anyway.
stalker. Reduced damage reduction from whilst you're in the super from 52% to 47 because it's got the highest, as you see here. We decided to tone down the damage reduction. As a fantasy of this ability is stealthy assassin, not stealthy raid boss. And then up here, look, he's like, Spectral Blades not only allows the user to go invisible and vanish from the radar, but it also has one of the highest damage reduction values in the game. So they're reducing that to bring it more in line with other supers, basically. So the damage, if you would hit a bullet, rather than it doing 50% of the damage, it's now going to do slightly more than 50% of the damage to a target. So if you would have hit, I don't know, a 52 before, a 48 before when it had this 52% value, you'll now hit a 53. Is the easiest way to think about it that way.
Yeah, thereabouts. But there's additional damage resistance when you're actually invisible, so that's when you do the little flip thing. That's been reduced as well. So that's down from 5 to 3%.
Yes. And then Warlocks. Now, before we get into this, there was some of the things in here I was like, okay, that needed changing. Then there was other things in here I was like, why even bother?
Why are you touching this? Yeah. Alright, come on, let's see.
So, Winter's Wrath. Shade. Reduce the shatter pulse damage versus close range shooters. So now a Warlock must freeze and shatter twice to defeat players in Burning Maul, Fist of Havoc, Sentinel Shield, Nova Warp, Arc Staff, Spectral Blades. Glacial Quake still remains to be only one shatter to defeat, which I figured makes sense because they are essentially made of ice. So, you know, you freeze them and shatter them, boom, they're dead. Right, makes sense.
See, I thought they were going like the solar route when I started reading that and got to Burning Maul. I was like, oh, okay. And then read the rest of it. I was like, oh, well, fair enough.
Right, so the point I was thinking when I read this was the timer for supers being frozen. So like if you freeze a super with a instant melee,
oh yeah, it's a lower time anyway, isn't it?
It's a lower timer anyway. Like so, this is going to be near impossible to pull off. You're gonna have to freeze someone, shatter them, freeze them again, shatter them, and that's like half your super gone. Like Shadebinder as what's it called? As a length of super is actually stupid because it uses up so much energy, especially in PvP, PvE even. I can tell you because I was using it when me and Civics were helping people through the disgraced GM. That probably about 50-60% of my deaths in the entire day that we were running that GM helping people were where I'd used my super, gone out, done a bunch of, you know, kills and damage and made orbs for the team, and then I was go to freeze something and my super would run out, and then I'd just get focused by like 3 barrier knights or something, and boom, I'm dead. Like, because I'm there thinking, oh, I've got plenty of super energy left, and then I hit my fucking cast and oh, I've got no energy. Probably due to inexperience because I don't use Shadebinder all that often, but obviously having the freeze turret in the GM is useful. So,
yeah.
Personally, I think there needs to be maybe an on-screen HUD that sort of tells you how much energy each like cast is going to use, or make it so that I can like charge it, and if I charge it, I like have to use half of my super energy, fire frozen balls at somebody, and then I slam the staff down on the floor and it shatters them. rather than, you know, doing what I currently do and lift it up in the air. Like, that never made any fucking sense to me anyway. The fact that you put it up in the air and it creates a shockwave.
And it creates a shockwave, yeah.
Alright,
Having a
whatever.
slam would make more sense. I mean, why not all the bosses slam?
Top tree Dawn. So, as it says, it's straight up dominant in PvP. Hell yeah. Celestial Fire. So they want the before we get into that actually, they want the identity to be found in aerial combat, so they're doubling down on heat risers and hope that it makes. They hope this change makes heat risers more accessible to players of all skill levels, rather than just top tree, like sweaty scrim players. Is the way they're looking at it.
Yes.
For Celestial Fire, reduced tracking cone angle, arming shape detonation now shrinks over time, and reduced detonation size by 1 meter, and damage fall off increased at short distance. For me, the way I read that basically is at a longer range, the free like missiles, as people call them, wrist rockets, will go off in different directions after a certain range. And so it will turn it into more of a cone. So it won't track the target. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I'm actually thinking about it, and I'm reading it here, it's like, you fire it forward, and rather than it being like a huge cone in front of you where it'll go, oh, there's this target, and magnetize to them, because we all know Bungie has put Destiny
it might be that.
magnetism.
It might be that, but at the same time, with the second one, with the difference in armor and shape, that makes it easier to miss a shot.
Yeah. Icarus Dash will now provide
because it won't just blow up next to someone if they're far away. Every 4 seconds. So they've reduced the dodges, unless you're under heat rises, then you get 2 dodges every 5 seconds.
Yeah, and they've increased the duration of heat rises from 10 seconds to 15, which, to be honest, this basically just makes me go, well, guess what? I'm not going to use the subclass for Icarus Dash anymore. I'm going to use it for what
you just use it for heat rises, yeah.
What I've been using.
You get 15 seconds, and you get more time back on kills.
Well, this is the thing.
Oh, the last point though.
What I've been using it for, Kip. Just recently, whenever it's been like solar week on strikes, I will put sun bracers on. Because a melee ability gives you unlimited solar grenades for a certain amount of time. So what I will do is I will consume my grenade, give me heat rises. I can then fly up into the air because any damage that's done in the air recharges my melee ability. I will fire a melee and that kill something. It gives me a bunch of melee energy. And sometimes if I get a kill, a couple of kills, it will give me all of it back. I will then just proceed to throw like 3 or 4 grenades because that's the allotted time allows for. And then
well, you'll get an extra couple in now, won't you?
Yeah, and then because of heat rises running out, I will have to proc it again and then do the same thing. Well, now I won't need to. And it says
well, yeah, but you get extra time on air kills anyway.
Yeah. So thanks, Bungie. You just buffed my build. I am sad about Icarus Dash in a way because like speed running fucking shit with Icarus Dash.
Yeah.
Great.
That is gonna take a hit.
But hey, this is why people are calling it the Go Slow update.
Yeah.
And your location now appears on the enemy radar when using heat rise. I didn't realise that it didn't, to be honest. I always like.
Well, it probably did, but like at the same amount. Whereas now it will just like appear like slightly further out or something. I don't know.
Alright, Middle Tree Dawnblade, which is Well of Radiance. This is where we go into a couple of nerfs and buffs.
Okay, so we've got the same thing as the thing.
Yeah, same thing as the
So that's the
bubbles.
well. So that'll be like AOE damage, won't it?
Yes.
Because no one's gonna, because they're not gonna have bosses and stuff shooting directly at the sword.
Yeah.
Unless if they're making this change, would they add the changes to AI before?
Yeah.
Are they gonna have? Are they gonna have ads target these things now?
Let me read it to you.
All right.
It refers to Well of Radiance itself and not players inside the well.
Yeah.
Damage
So
taken.
it's the same with the bubble.
Yes. They are making
Oh,
the sword itself a
oh.
targetable.
Yeah.
So right now, you shoot from behind the sword has an opportunity, 9 times out of 10 it does, block your fucking shots. Now they're making it so it actually is targetable by enemies on, enemy teams in PvP and PvE.
Yeah.
So increased damage buff.
And especially if you've got an increased damage resistance. If they come across you while you're stood in a well, they're going to target the sword first. Maybe hit it with like grenade launchers or something. Try and damage you a little bit and get rid of the sword.
But here's the thing. Increased damage resistance buff versus enemy players from 20% to 40%. So he's getting a buff in PvE, PvP even. But players inside the well are now immune to stasis, freeze, and slow. The sword itself
the sword can be shattered.
And shattered by stasis.
Oh, that's interesting, actually.
So you're gonna have to body block your sword. That is gonna make for some interesting gameplay. I'm telling you. I read this, I was like, that's going to be fucking brilliant. And I can't wait to see Drago use it.
Wait a minute. So on some of the maps, what would happen if you were to like pop your well and stand in front of it with a sniper? If you were like in a corner or up on a bridge or something.
You're going to do 40% extra damage to the enemy player, and they're not going to be able to take out your sword.
No. You'll still do the same damage, but it's a damage resistance buff. And because you're stood in front of the sword, they can't get rid of that buff. So you'll take less damage than you would have. So and since you stood in front of the sword, that's not going to completely disappear, so you don't have to worry about being as much of a target. You'll have more time to line up your shot.
Exactly. It's going to be fucking great. But then Guiding Flame, I can't remember what this perk is, but it's increased damage duration from 7 seconds to 10 seconds, and increase the damage buff from 20% to 25%.
I think it's if you've got like a regular flame in melee, if you hit it, or kill someone with it or something, and they sort of dissipate into flames.
Yeah, isn't that empowering? You get an empowerment, don't you? Empowerment.
Yeah, empowerment from Guiding Flame.
Oh, okay.
So the damage buff from that would go up to 25% and last 10 seconds instead of 7.
Oh, that's better. That's a lot better. But yeah. And then bottom tree Dawnblade has been the most underused subclass.
It really has.
On a warlock. And basically...
Although, I do like the end of that paragraph.
Yeah. So your charged melee will now deal 120 damage, puts a burn on the enemy, meaning you can follow up with another lethal attack, still get the explosion. They've also clarified this. If, as it says here, it's put on... In fact, no, it was clarified here in... So we'll get to that in a minute. But it's been more effective with Dawn Chorus Exotic Helmet, which gives another reason to use that helmet. But Phoenix Dive, reduce the delay before the dive starts, and you can now input a direction to dive in that direction, similar to Shatter Dive. As it says here, like Revenant Shatter Dive, Phoenix Dive can now dive down diagonally in the direction of
your choosing. Ooh, ho, ho, ho.
So it's going to be a whole lot more usable.
Yeah.
You want your float up in the air, take a shot, and then fucking float up in the air, get information in PvP, and then like slam down. This is gonna be the class. But yeah, then igniting.
Well, that's the thing is that if you're careful about it, you could even peek round the corner in the air and then dive back round the corner instead of diving straight down.
Exactly. But yeah, igniting touch, which is what we was talking about here with the charge melee, has been reworked, ability reworked, as it says here. Solo ability kills and kills on burning targets now cause targets to explode and burn other nearby enemies, who will also explode if they die whilst burning.
Would this include things like, if do you remember Tiku's divination?
Yes. It was basically that, but in a melee format.
Where no, but like if you do like a regular shot and don't do the aim down sights thing, so just the tracking one, and is that a burn? It's only a light burn. But does that count as a burn? Because if that does, then you could just finish them off. Because it's kills on burning targets.
Yeah. Probably that. Which then goes into class synergy, like you have between the gauntlets and pawn, but this is class to weapon rather than weapon to armor piece. Then middle tree Stormcaller, my baby Chaos Reach is getting.
No.
Dealing.
Well, it does seem to be mostly in PvP.
Yeah, dealing damage. Sees higher usage in Crucible, part due to Geomags, and is often used as a shutdown super. In future seasons, we'll be looking at the arc beam to make sure it's not too easy to use in the Crucible. Increased beam environment collision size to better match the collision size with damage size. Reduced beam damage radius in PvP by 20%. And reduced beam endpoint sphere radius in PvP by 33%. I always aim directly for people anyway, so it's probably not going to affect me anyway.
But what it will affect is, obviously, they've increased the collision size so that it doesn't sort of reach around corners as much. If you aim at the corner, the AoE, the beam is thinner, and the sphere at the end of the beam is smaller. So it's not going to be as effective there. Especially, if you know someone's sort of waiting around the corner, if you're shooting it at a doorway or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So it kind of switches from fire in the general direction to kind of reward them for maintaining on the target.
The next one's a buff, in my opinion, and it's fucking brilliant. Bottom tree Stormcaller.
Yeah, that's a buff.
Arc Soul has been increased from 12% to 13. Duration has been increased from 12 seconds to 13 seconds, and the fire rate has been increased by 10%. So it'll fire faster and it'll stick around longer. Who can complain at that?
Well, not much longer, but it's better than staying where it was.
Electrostatic Surge. So the ability that when enemies are when teammates are nearby you, you get your ability energy back, including super energy, faster. You will now get increased sprint speed when allies are near.
Ooh.
And then Landfall. This is the thing that was most interesting to me. Landfall now fires 5 arc projectiles along the ground on cast. So you will cast, the lightning will come down around you and do the huge fucking explosion as it does now, and then there will be 5 arc projectiles go off in 5 different directions.
Ooh. That'll be interesting to experiment with.
Exactly. And as it says here, cast your super in the middle of the room and execute everything around you. I will be. Middle tree Void Warp.
Oh, the
Nova Warp.
I can't remember what the name of the map is. not Midtown. Was it Midtown? I don't know. The one where like B is like in a little room off to the left,
Yes,
and you've
it
got the
is
two
Midtown.
spawn. But yeah, you just just run into B and pop your super.
Exactly. Middle tree Void Walker is being buffed as well, which is Nova Warp. So in PvE, handheld
Oh
Supernova
my
was doing
god!
pitiful amount of damage.
Yeah, it
So
needed a 73% boost.
we've considered we've considerably increased its damage output. Telling me about it. But yeah,
The
increased
super as
damage
well.
versus PvE.
73% on the super. Double it on the supernova.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to hold it longer though
Yeah, and it
to get it.
no
Oh, you know
longer
the
slows
charge
your
stages.
movement when you're charging the super, and it now detonates
Hmm.
on cast. So when you're
Okay.
casting it, it will now do an explosion, similar to obviously landfall on bottom tree, arc, and then you obviously run around. You can do the little charges as you currently do, or you can hold it and charge it, and then and it doesn't impact your movement speed, and then you can let go when you need to. But as you said with Supernova, it does double the damage now. So where it was struggling to kill a fucking acolyte, now it will disintegrate said acolyte. But you have got to hold it for another 0.7 of a second to get the charge. Well, it says increased hold time, so you charge it, you get the hold. So actually, that's a buff as well, Kit.
Yeah, so
Usually
that's what
after
was.
2.5 second, it would just put it away, and you would lose your grenade, and no, you would get your grenade energy back. I think I can't remember whether
Yeah,
it loses it or you get it back.
I can't remember.
But now you'll be able to hold it for 0.7 of a second longer. So when it's charged, you'll hold it. If there's a target there, you are like, and then your teammate shoots it. You're like, fuck. Now what am I gonna do with this? And then another target comes out around the corner. You throw it, and you'll have that little bit of extra time to make a decision where you're throwing it. It's the way I read that anyway. But obviously, when season 15 comes out, all these will be launching. There's going to be, if I remember right, they say something about there being a full patch notes when season 15 launches, with regards to everything that's being changed. So we'll obviously cover that when that happens on the 24th of August, I believe, is when season 15 launches.
Is it? Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's just
It's
in
the
time
day
for me
of
to be knocked out.
It's the day of
Reeling from the
It's the day of the
second jab
Witch Queen reveal.
announcement. Yeah,
But yeah,
well, it's
and
not
they're
announcements that would be announced.
improving the powering up stasis experience. So I'm not gonna go through all of this, but long story short, right now you have to do a bunch of fucking legwork to get all of the fragments and aspects unlocked for stasis, and it can be confusing. And some guardians are like, "Oh, I'll go and get this aspect because I heard it's really overpowered," and then no, fragment, sorry, and then they go and do the quest and it gives them a different fragment, and they're like, "Oh, well, where do I get this fragment?" And then you have to go and do another fragment quest, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but they're making it a bit clearer now,
yeah, they're
aren't they?
making it
They're
basically
saying
like a stream.
from season 15 they're gonna have the full route. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to basically have a full route on the Exo Stranger, so you'll be able to see how far you are from getting certain things. And also, they're changing the Born in Darkness quests to be reduced or removed certain parts.
Yeah.
So like it says here, previously Guardians needed to complete several quest chains and unlock the Salvation script before Stasis would grant them additional power. Now you will no longer. So yeah, they're basically changing how you unlock things from Stasis. Then you've got 7th anniversary of their Gauntlet Tabletop fundraiser. Basically, they're doing charity work for young women empowered in the Seattle area. They get a bunch of gaming studios that are local to the Seattle area, and tabletop aficionados to raise money by playing a tabletop game. I think it's something like D&D or something, or a bunch of tabletop games. But you can make a donation to their team page. $25 in a single donation will give you this emblem, which is quite clean, but
it is quite clean. I quite like it.
Then you've got the epic log, which is obviously all the information regards to crossplay names here. So as it said here, this is summarizing what we was talking about earlier, which is why I didn't want to go into too much of it, because I knew it was in here. And it's like display names of the first platform that players log into to play Destiny 2, beginning 10 AM PDT on August 24th, will become the player's Bungie name. So if I sign in on Steam, Intrepidus1 will become my Bungie name. If Kit signs in on Xbox, Enraged Kitsune will become his Bungie name.
No surprise there.
But if Kit signs in on Steam, platform IDs, numbers, non-standard characters, and symbols will be removed and excluded.
So it'll still just be Enraged Kitsune.
If the name violates our code of conduct, it will be changed to Guardian. Name changes won't be available until a later update. And for Steam players, this is where they clarified it. Your Steam profile name, not your Steam account name, will become your Bungie name. When I looked at my Steam profile name earlier, it said Intrepidus1. My account name is the Ghostly NFG that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, and then you've got Bungie Foundation campaign, items, claiming rewards. The following will reset and become unclaimable when Season of the Redacted launches on August 24th, which is Season 14 Bungie rewards, Season 14 Season Challenges, Vanguard tokens, Valor rewards, Infamy rewards, Splicer servitor engrams, Season 13 Season Pass items on the previous season webpage. So if you've got any exotics saved from Season 13, which was Season of the Chosen, go and redeem them before August 24th. Otherwise, you will lose them.
You don't want to be doing that. Even if you don't get anything useful, it's valuable resources.
Yeah, exactly. Then they'll go into known issues here with solstice fragments. They'll be in an inventory. Logging out and back into the game should remove them. And then the Circuit Guard emblem from Bungie Foundation giving campaign does not appear in Bungie collections when acquired, and it will be fixed in a future update. Then you've got a Fiend raiding with the party of 4. We're almost done, mate, to be honest, so appreciate it.
I totally wasn't already here, but thanks for the raid. And welcome in, everyone.
Tough shit. Well, appreciate it all the same, Fiend. For a full list of emergent issues, you can go to known issues article. Then you've got the movie of the week. We don't always play these. I played that one earlier because it was literally 18 seconds. This one is about 10 minutes long, I think. I watched it yesterday, and it's actually really fucking funny. Arctic Wildlife is somebody I've met in Pigeon's chat. Pigeon, he raids Pigeon quite a bit. And this is basically Leopard went through Vault Glass on his Sparrow, and everybody, including him and his Sparrow, went flawless.
Why? Why would you think of doing that?
It's actually fucking hilarious, to be honest.
I
mean,
has done
a very good job
you...
in editing it. I would play it, but there's DMCA music in here.
Yeah.
Then FPS Crystal, someone who
Link it.
raided Kit the day before he actually hit his affiliate.
Yeah, it was what ticked me over.
Posted this clip, and I'm sorry, like, I'm gonna mute it because her laugh is quite loud, but you just see him flying around in Missile Titan with his gun out. And someone says, "Where are you going?" He says, "My people need me." Yeah, look, he's just jumping around, and it gives the effect of him actually using his super. It's quite funny. Let me make it full.
Oh, that's cool.
How you can tell he's jumping though is because that's him walking. And then like he starts jumping around, and you get the effect of him actually.
You get the trail, yeah.
Flying his super. So that's actually funny. Like you can hear her laugh now.
Yeah,
It's so fucking funny, but that's brilliant. Then you've got
cool. If you're on the audio only and you want to see these, they're in the this week at Bungie.
Yeah. And you got the artist of the week.
I'll try and put the link in. Wow, oh, that's cool.
Literally a rat drawn with Mithrax's armor on, which is kind of fucking, as Kit said, kind of cool. Then you've got magnificent armor. Apology to my ghost who never got the filigree shell because I was too lazy to grind the magnificent solstice armor set. Bear in mind, you can still, right now, complete the magnificent set. Like, to get the glow. If you've got the legendary armor and you just need to get the go, you can get the glow.
Yeah, they did. Sorry, they did the same with the last armor set as well, didn't they? It's like if you got to the last armor set, you could still progress the glow. It was just getting to that. If you're still on the green or the blues, then yep, you're stuck.
But then obviously they've got a bunch, as it says here. There's a lot, right? We're not done yet. We've got more in store next week with armor and mods. So we're going to be covering that in 2 weeks' time, and that'll be this last week at Bungie in 2 weeks' time. And in 2 weeks' time, if I'm not mistaken, we will have had. We will just be about to have the Witch Queen reveal. So we will probably, me and you, Kit, if nobody wants to come on, talk about what we hope to see in Witch Queen.
Well, I hope to see in that, yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously the reveal will happen. And
what day is that? 24th.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I might see if I can take.
So our next episode will be on the 19th.
Take that day.
And then we'll have the reveal on the 24th, and then our episode after that will be the 2nd of September. Yeah, so obviously we'll cover that this week at Bungie in 2 weeks' time as our last week at Bungie.
Yep.
So,
God, all of this hopping around this week, last week, next week is starting to get a bit confusing.
But we are going to go on raid. Appreciate everybody for coming on out to watch the
podcast. If you've been here watching the entire thing live, thank you. If you came in with the raid, thank you for sticking around. Thank again to Fiend for coming in with that.
Yep.
And he was playing with Aaron as well. They were playing Back for Blood, which we mentioned at the start. Didn't end so gracefully. Which is a shame.
But yeah, and then I appreciate anybody who's watched on YouTube or listened on the podcast platforms. We are going to go and raid someone right now. You know what? I mentioned him earlier when I was talking about doing the GMs. Let's go over to the Probably primarily because I've already got a stream open on my phone, so it's easier for me.
It's easy for you to get the message in, yeah. That's fine.
But yeah, as you see here,
hey, look, there you go.
We covered it earlier. New lower sub prices in the United Kingdom. There you go. So we're gonna go and head over to Civic. Cool dude. I was playing some Apex with him about half an hour before we went live with the podcast. And he's currently playing, I believe, with Lee and Dune Marchers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that'll be interesting to listen into then.
If I could fucking actually raise my... Yeah, there you go. Playing with Lee and Dune Marchers. The little overlay thing here, he made himself, and I'm considering asking him to make me one. So yeah, we'll go on over to Civics. If you are a regular here, you know the drill by now, and that is spam the emotes, which Kit has so gracefully put in chat. You can use, if you're a sub, you'll get those obviously for the month, or you can use channel points to unlock them for 24 hours. If you don't want to do either of those, it's completely fine. Twitch has you covered with the global emotes, as Kit has put in the chat again. Tomb Raid and Twitch Raid, they are global emotes. Everybody has access to them. And we're gonna head on over to Civics. But yeah, very much appreciate everybody for coming out. Appreciate Fiend for the raid, Rob for the sub and the bits. Very much appreciated. And we'll see you on the next episode if you don't hop into my streams. Also, actually, Kit, you mentioned something yesterday when we was on Fiend's stream. Hans asked you, Kit stream when? Do you want to sort of repeat it again? For
Yes.
Who's...
So I was asked yesterday, and I said then, New Year.
There you go.
So maybe not like the first week of the new year, but probably the second, because I should have everything like all laid out and set up by then, to have more time, because I should be spending less time in transit then.
But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna go and head over to Civics. I've obviously already done the outro like spiel, but yeah, very much appreciate everybody for coming in. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Bye.